Hello, everyone. Welcome to GA's Tea Time. We discuss all things General Hospital. If you haven't already, please hit the bell notification. The like and subscribe really helps the channel. And I want to send a special thank you for everybody that has already subscribed. So, guys, let's get our teacups, let's get our snacks, and let's get ready to discuss our favorite characters. General Hospital Daily Recap, Monday, March 30th, 2026. So, guys, we had a bunch of folks in this episode, some Carly, some Brennan, some Cody, some Molly, and a bunch of others. Let's see what our favorite bunch of characters are up to. Brennan was on the phone and he was up there yelling at people. He's trying to find out where Jason is at. And he's like, "What do you mean you can't tell me where he's at? I'm the station chief here." And they ain't going for it. Whoever put Jason where they put him, they put a seal on it, which is probably Cullum. He probably did it way before because he already knew Jason was gonna go there. He didn't know Jason supposedly shot him, right? But anyway, Carly comes in and Carly is on a warpath. She's just like, "Where's Jason?" She don't even want to hear Brennan's excuses or anything. So Brendan is telling her like, "No, I don't know where he's at. I'm trying to find out." Carly's not believing him, right? So Carly's just like, find him. He's my family. She went down. Why didn't you call me when they was arresting him? Brendan said, I tried, but Jason told me no. But then at the end of everything, it was so funny though. There was a part in there when she was like, oh, so you don't even care about Jason. He was like, no. Okay, I understand that. He don't care about Jason. He supposedly cares about Carly. Um, Carly was just like, look, the WSB is not going to take the people I love away from me. That's a second jab underneath because we all know about Josh, but Brendan don't know she know. And Brendan was trying to tell Carly, you can't take on a WSB. She was kind of like, watch me. So I think between Carly and Valentine, eventually they'll find out where Jason is at. But it's kind of crazy that they won't even tell Brennan where he's at. So we're going to see what happens with this. But really kind of crazy. So I don't know what's going on with Jason. Cody came in to Molly's, just banging on the door. I was like, what's that about? So Molly comes in. He's like super happy. He told Molly he won this vacation by this raffle that he put in a bunch of money for, and he won a vacation to the Cayman Islands. So him and Molly are happy because at first Molly, he was saying, "Oh, we're gonna go deep sea fishing or whatever," and Molly's looking at him like, no, I'm a vegetarian. I don't want to be killing fish. So he was like, "Okay, we go scuba diving instead." But find out they can't go because Molly has scheduled that procedure she had for her endometriosis. So she was like, well, you know what? I could reschedule it. Cody felt bad. He was like, no, don't reschedule it. You can have another flare up. I'd rather you not be in pain. Just go ahead and do it. I kind of wish they would have let them take the vacation. You know what I'm saying? You never see anybody on the social. We understand why, because you can't be off campus for too long. But they could have let them go on a vacation before she had to do this surgery. Anyway, at the end of everything, Molly said she was gonna have the surgery. They can't gonna cancel the trip, but Cody asked her, "Let me take care of you." At first, she was a little hesitant, but she finally said, "Yeah, okay, I'll let you take care of me." So I'm like, all right. I'm glad they're doing something fun, I guess. But, it's what it is. Guys, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel because it really helps the channel. Brooklyn and Chase are with the social worker. So, leaving off from last week, where Wally came in and asked him, what's a hooker? They did a good job kind of answering Wally's question without really going into detail. They was like, Jacinta has a job and your dad and Olivia were mad at each other and they were saying bad words and stuff like that. But they did tell Wiley he should go talk to his dad. But Wiley was like, it was cute because at the end he was like, yeah, we're family. We shouldn't stay mad at each other. So the social worker was taking little notes, kind of, I guess she liked the way they answered handled the situation. Um, the kind of messed up part was at the end, they was like, do you want to see anything else? Wiley had went off and they was asking social worker, do you want to go around, talk to anybody, want to see the car seat that they bought and stuff like that? She was like, no, I got enough. So it seemed like she cut their thing a little abruptly. She did ask about Jacinda and would she be living there and stuff like that. And it's kind of messed up, like you don't get no pass. Your no pass. Your past is like your future and everything else. It's like people don't give no forgiveness. But Brooklyn and Chase think that the whole thing went south. They don't think that it's gonna wind up right because of that one instance. That's kind of crazy if that one thing kind of makes it so you can't be forced to parents. But anyway, they were feeling bad once the social worker left. Christina came over and she saw Michael in the kitchen, but she had came over to get some stuff for Danny because Danny's gonna be staying at her mom's house. So while they were there, they were talking about Jacinda, of course, because Christina figures out a way to bring up Jacinda. No, I'm just playing. Um, they were talking about Jacinda and the incidents between what happened between her and Olivia, and Christina's right. She was like, that ain't right that they're treating Jacinda like this. And then Michael was telling her too that Tracy is like saying that he doesn't treat Jacinda right. See, I'm still confused about that part. I'm like, when Tracy says that, I'm like, what does she mean? He's not, they just started dating, so she can't be thinking about marriage. Michael hasn't not taken her out in public. They go out to dinner and everybody sees they're together as a couple. So I'm a little confused on what Tracy is looking for when she says Michael doesn't respect her or doesn't do enough. I don't know. I don't know what that means. Um, but uh, Christina was like, no, Jacinda has never said that you've been disrespectful to her, or you treat her any kind of funny way, or anything like that. So Michael was like, that's good. So he had to leave the room for some reason. And then Tracy comes in, and Christina was kind of like, talking to Tracy, and she was like, how come you're not sticking up for Jacinda? So Tracy was like, I don't have a problem with what she do, stuff like that. But he was like, yeah, she was just kind of like, why are you not putting Olivia in her place? You can say something. But Tracy feels like she don't want to be the monarch of the family. She don't want to take Monica's place or something like that. I don't know. To me, this whole thing is confusing when it comes to Jacinda, Tracy, and everybody. They need to just stay out of Jacinda's business. She's trying to get her life right. I feel like leave it be. The thing with Tracy and Michael is like, I don't get it. I really just don't. Please tell me down in the comment section what you think, because I'm confused on what she means about treating Jacinda better or right or not respecting her. I think Michael treats her good, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe there's something I don't see. But Christina said her little bit to Tracy and kind of was telling Tracy to stand up a little bit more for this situation. We'll see what Tracy's going to do. So Chase and Brooklyn were really concerned about that whole situation with Wiley coming in and asking that question. They don't think that they're going to pass this foster care interview, that they're not going to be able to take baby Phoebe in. I can't see that one thing messing up their whole prospect of getting this child. But anyway, Michael comes in and they asked Michael for some help. They was like, Michael, do you know anybody that can help us? 'Cause we don't think that interview went well. They told him what happened with Wiley. And they was like, you should not be, y'all two shouldn't be screaming at each other in the kitchen. Listen, that was Olivia's fault. She ain't had no business calling that woman a hooker. But anyway, Michael was getting ready to pick up the phone and make a phone call, see who he can call. But then he thought about it. He said, you know what? You guys have a better chance with somebody that could really help you out. She got more influence, and it was Willow. Brooklyn's face was the scream. Brooklyn just rolled her eyes. She was just like, um I'm with Brooklyn. Chase is all like, yeah, that's right, Willow would help us. I'm sorry. I would tell Chase straight no. No, don't go there. You're not allowed to speak to her. No. If you go there, our marriage is over. Because I would just put your foot down, girl. Don't let him go over there. This is going to lead into some other nonsense. And I don't even know why Michael even suggested that. But yeah, we'll see what happens. We know Chase is looking for any reason to run over there to Willow. So I'm sure he going to hightail himself over to our house in like 2.2 seconds. But we'll see what happens. So Josh was standing over Cullum. She guess she was getting ready to do something. Cullum opened his eyes and kind of freaked her out a little bit, and then he closed his eyes. So she was taking a glove out her back pocket to do what, I don't know. And Lucas walked in, so she had to play it off. She was telling Lucas, "Oh, I came to see you because I can't believe that you're working tonight. After what happened with Marco." Lucas scooted her out the room, and then they had a whole conversation, and he said maybe he shouldn't have came to work because he is upset and everything like that. He's tired, but he thought working would keep him busy, his mind busy, which is understandable. um he was just like, he does feel bad, and he was like, Marco didn't die in vain. He's gonna find out who the killer is and stuff like that. My thing is, it's so messed up that Lucas saved Cullum, right? This vampire is awake now. What time of night is it? It was dark, right? Because Cullum done woke up from his coffin, and he gonna be on the warpath. Lucas looked in on him and was just like, "Do you know who shot you?" I don't know what Cullum is gonna say after this. We'll see. But I wonder if Lucas had known it was Cullum that did that to Marco, would he have saved his life? We'll see what happens, but I'm sure once he finds out, Lucas might let that oath that the doctors take and throw that out the window and get Cullum. So we shall see shortly what happens with this. I keep saying it. Rocco is not going to be able to keep this secret long. Rocco and Charlotte went to look for Danny because Danny wasn't at his grandmother's house. He wasn't at the Quartermain, so he was at the bridge. He was having a spaz out of fit, and he was going to hit the iron rail. He's really upset about his dad and everything like that, which is understandable. So Charlotte, was saying, we here for you. And then Rocco, in a way, was kind of like, well, if you want to be alone, we could leave. And Charlotte was like, no, we're not leaving. So Danny eventually said, no, I don't want you guys to leave, stay. So they're kind of running through the whole scenario. And as they keep telling the story about how Danny said he was crying for his father and everything like that, Rocco just looked like he just wants to die inside. Um, from there, I don't know what's going to happen with this. He's not going to be able to hold on to the secret too much longer. Somebody, either Charlotte or Danny or whatever, he gonna confess. But they did notice that something was a little off with him, and they was asking him, "Is he okay?" And he was just like, he played it off, and he was like, "No, my dad arrested your dad, and this wouldn't have happened if he didn't have to do that." And Charlotte chimed in. She was like, "No, this ain't about them, and they were doing their job, and stuff like that." But I don't know. I can't see this going on too much longer. That Rocco's gonna be able to hold this in. They shouldn't even ask Rocco to hold this in. I guess this should have been like a family thing. Bring Charlotte, Danny, and all of them people together and tell them exactly what happened and why. So at least he has somebody to talk to and he doesn't feel like he's betraying the people that are closest to him. But guys, tell me what you think down in the comment section. What was your favorite part about this episode? What was your least favorite part? I think my least favorite part too is always them bashing Jacinda. I think they need to leave that woman alone. Other than that, I thought it was okay episode. It was a little slow today. It was just kind of like a filler, but I couldn't understand that because last week was just crazy. It was just like everything was going on. I think people need a break. But guys, don't forget to let me know what you think down in the comment section. I love to hear from you guys. I try to answer every question that's down there. If not, leave me a little smiley face. I love that too. And don't forget to hit that bell notification and to like and subscribe because it really helps the channel. And thank you for joining us again at GHT Time. Till next time, bye.